Hey everybody, it is Saturday afternoon and we are out on Prettyboy Reservoir, just paddling my way along the shoreline here today. Did not even bring my fishing rods with me, so today is definitely going to be a long, slow, quiet video, or at least quiet by my standards. Just came out to paddle around for a little while. Again, I'm not planning on fishing. I'm just going to sort of hug the shoreline, drift in and out of the trees, probably chat a little here and there, but I will probably also just do a lot of quiet paddling along and looking at the shoreline and looking at all the beautiful sunshine. So I do actually have a destination in mind, just sort of a making point that I can have a reason to go to and turn around and come back. And that is going to be the same location that I collected the huge piece of driftwood that I have in my New World tank. So we're going to go back there and see if there's any other interesting pieces of driftwood. In the process, we're going to have to cross over the main channel and we are going to have to go around a small island. So we'll have a look at all that stuff as we go by, and since it is almost 90 degrees out here and that sun is just blazing away on me, we are probably going to shoot straight across and get into the shade of that opposite shoreline over there and make our way down from there. So sit back and relax. As I said, this is probably going to be one of my longer, less chatty videos. Once I get through this sort of introductory piece, we'll be doing a lot more paddling and a lot less talking. So sit back, relax, and I'll see you out on the main channel. Shade feels good. Alright, so we are now going to make our way straight across for that shade, and we got to go down and around that point on that big bit of land right there that looks like an island, but it is not. Once we get around that point, we will, however, be able to see the island. So we're going to make our way across the channel now. Got a little bit of breeze and a little bit of current at our back, so this isn't going to be too bad. Hopefully by the time we come back though, it'll be dying down and we won't be fighting it paddling into the wind on the way home, but we'll see. Stream on a river. I guess technically I am. So we are making great time with minimal energy. I'm basically only having to paddle to keep myself in a straight line, otherwise the wind blows me sideways and then the waves and the current rock me back and forth. This is just a nice gentle paddle to keep me moving forward, and I'm riding along with all the waves. Of course, the breeze actually feels nice on such a hot day. when we come back, we'll come along this shoreline over here. Get to see some of the rock formations and some of the spring trees. There might be some flowers left over there. We'll have to see. See, normally I have to be really careful when I've got my other kayak where I've got my motor and my rudder down behind me. Mostly my motor though. My motor is about a foot below the bottom of the boat and it is hard mounted, so it does have a flexible shaft. It does give me a little bit of flexibility, but when I hit something with my motor, it either brings me to a very abrupt stop or something breaks. Usually it's the dead branch, but eventually one of these days it's going to be the mounting of my motor. But when I come out in this kayak, especially when I don't have my fishing rods with me, I only draw about 2 or 3 inches of water, meaning that I can, you know, just skim over top of anything that's, you know, just a few inches deep. And if I do run into anything, I just sort of slide up onto it and just push myself back. It's not that big a deal because there's nothing really below me to get caught on anything. And then of course today I don't have my fishing rod sticking up behind me, so in theory we could kind of be under there paddling under these trees. See if we can cut through here without too much difficulty. Of course, now that I say that, watch, I'll probably get stuck on something. This is why I like coming out with this kayak when I'm not really in the mood for fishing. I can just do this. Feel like I'm in the woods and in the water at the same time. It's almost like taking a walk in the woods. Get around this point here. I think we'll be in a little bit less wind. Seat cushion from somebody's boat. I blew out today. Oh, ran over that one. I don't know if that came out on camera or not, but it lifted me up and down about an inch. Alright, now we're going to be out of the wind a little bit. caught some nice fish out of this little corner before. Here's a nice flowering bush, looks like a mountain laurel. Got the wrong camera to really appreciate that one. This GoPro doesn't do very good for any kind of distances. It gives you a good general idea of what's going on, but not a lot of detail. So I'm gonna keep on paddling along like this. Here's another one of these cherry laurels. We'll probably see a lot of these today. In fact, I can see another one down there already. And this is a few of them scattered through here. I can see a little solitary bee up there. And I don't mean solitary in the fact that it was by itself on the flower. I mean a solitary bee in the type of species. So I'm going to get on down around this bend here, and that's where we will get into the cove where there's the island, and then in the back corner of that cove is where we found the woodwork for my new world tank. So hang on, give me a minute, we'll be around the bend. Made it over that one. Alright, I know it is hard to tell, but that mass of land out there in front of us is the island in the middle of this big cove we just drifted into. So there's some people over there fishing already, so instead of going straight back into that corner, which is where our end goal is, I think we're going to hug this shoreline here. It's got some really nice woods. I may even get out and walk around, stretch my legs a little bit. But we'll be in the shade, we'll be out of the wind, it's scenic, and my goal was to come out here and relax, not necessarily to hurry up and get somewhere. So we're gonna just drift along, and we'll snake. It goes all the way around here, and we'll snake all the way back around, and we'll follow that shoreline, and we'll get there eventually. I can see another couple boats back there fishing that I didn't notice at first. So it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I was expecting there to be quite a few people out there. I'm actually kind of surprised we're not seeing more people. Not sure how this is going to work out or not, but we'll find out. Oh, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll go around this one. I can smell a stream back there somewhere. There's definitely some flowing water back there. There's a million little streams and springs that flow into this reservoir, and little feeder streams around here. Even the stream across the street from my house is spring fed. I think this is another one we will go around. Might have to limbo underneath this one. Heard some critter running around up there. It sounds like a squirrel. Alright, back out in the sun. I don't know how well it's coming out on camera, but we're in really shallow water. You can see the bottom right there. We're only in about 3 or 4 feet. Well, actually, as clear as this water is, it's probably a little deeper than that. It just doesn't look like it. But we're in fairly shallow water. I think that heron just landed down here in the corner again, so keep your eyes open for it to fly away. Right behind this fallen tree. So if we got out and we walked straight through the woods right here, we would actually come back out to another cove in the reservoir. Oh, look at all the deer up there. I scared them away talking. You can hear them all snorting. But it's about 50 yards through the woods, and you'll come back out into another cove that is on the same side of the reservoir. If we left that cove and went straight across, it would take us right back to the boat launch. So one of these days I'll just drag the kayaks through there just for the heck of it, so I can say I've done it. It's a really nice patch of woods to walk through. There's no paths or trails or anything, but it's open enough that you can get right through it with minor difficulties. It is a little rough on the ankles here and there, but it's not bad. So let's keep making our way around. Just for reference, this mass right out there, dead center, is the island. I know, again, it's really hard to distinguish between the background trees and the island out in the middle, but trust me, there's an island there. Alright, heron's right over here again, so let's watch it fly away as we approach. That's the way I prefer it. I prefer not to scare them away and just have them ignore me and go about doing their own business. So that was pretty cool seeing him catch a fish. Don't know if any of that came out on camera, but he waded along. He was wary. He knew I was there. He was keeping one eye on me and one eye on the fishing, but he did catch a couple fish while I was watching him. Alright, so now we gotta go back into that corner all the way over there, but I think we're gonna have to pass some people fishing, so I'm gonna stop filming here and we're gonna make our way along the shoreline. So I'll see you down here around the bend a little bit. Gotta take a little detour and come back here for a minute. All these flowers are wild raspberries and honeysuckle, and while I know you can't smell it, I sure can, and boy does it smell amazing. And the honeysuckle bushes just go on off up into the woods, so there's no shortage of them. You can see these little areas here. This is where deer come down, no doubt. Deer, or probably beaver actually. I doubt the deer would come down right here. There's nowhere for them to go. But the beaver certainly come down here. Ah, this is almost overwhelming. It smells so good. You see where other people hit it all the time, thinking it's way underneath the water. Ah, that just smells so good. It just goes way off as far as I can see. I don't know how well it's coming out on camera or not. Alright, I'm going to keep on making my way around the bend down here. We got some people in a boat right there, so call it good for a moment. Alright everybody, if you will remember when we were paddling in, I pointed out a shoreline and said we'll be paddling back along that sort of rocky open shoreline on the way back. Well, this is that shoreline. When we come through these trees right here, we'll be at a really open rocky area, and it's really different looking than a lot of the other areas around here. And it's got a lot of lichen that grows all over the rocks. It's just really interesting looking, probably because the way it faces the afternoon sun has something to do with the way the lichen grows on the rocks. Some more wild raspberry. Now up through here is where you'll see all the rocks. It's like the whole face of the hill looks like one huge rock slide jumble. And it's weird because it goes all the way up to the top, so it makes you wonder where the rocks tumbled down from. The whole hillside is just nothing but rocks. Felt water dripping on my leg. I thought something jumped on me. And I'm not talking about rocks like this. There's plenty of areas around here where the whole hillside is a rock. But this is like jumbled, tumbled, small rocks that look like a landslide. And it just seems out of place. There's no other area around here that has rocks that look like that. At least not that I know of. Anyway, I always find it interesting. It drops off really, really sharp. We're in fairly deep water right here, even though we're only 10 feet off the shore. Alright, I need to make my way up and around that point of land up there, and then we need to make our way all the way up the cove to the boat launch. So as long as my battery holds out, I'll see you around the bend for a little more scenic paddling. Otherwise, just in case, I'm going to say goodbye now. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you real soon in the next one. Alright everybody, we're getting a little closer. I had to kind of duck out of the way. Heading straight into the setting sun for about the last 10 minutes. It's just blinding me. I'm getting a headache from squinting so hard, even with my sunglasses and my hat. So we just kind of tucked over into this little cove. but we need to go out and around and up into the next cove, so we're going to have the sun in our faces for a few more minutes, and then we'll be heading off basically to our right, and the sun will be off to the side of us rather than heading directly into it. So I figured I'd take the opportunity to get a couple more minutes of video here. I used to be able to paddle underneath of this when the water level was a little lower. Don't know if I want to try it today or not. Yeah, I think we'll be alright. Big old spider web in it, but I think I'll be going underneath of that. Perfect. And I think we can get underneath of this tree too. Wow, we must have just passed some honeysuckle. It's overwhelming. Alright, now that point right out in front of us, we're going to tuck underneath of that tree, hang a right, and that will be basically where we started the video. So we'll go ahead and finish it up, provided the battery lasts that long. And if you look carefully off to your right, you'll see that square block of concrete. That, I believe, is a property marker right there. So anything on that side of that square block is outside the reservoir property. You see 2 or 3 of them around here right down close to the water's edge. Usually you stumble across them back in the middle of the woods in the middle of nowhere. Alright everybody, I'm really calling it goodbye for real this time. As I said, this is more or less where we started. I started videoing right up there under those overhanging trees that you can see. So we've come full circle all the way around. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe. And I will see you real soon on the next one.